Hi ho, Monster fans. This is Dangerous Snallygaster here, welcoming you all back to Recharge Yellow and the continued paying for past mistakes. So, where we last left off, we were at Mount Moon. I have a team. we'll call it that. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to find the secret to being able to win. Right now we're kind of in a really weird and tough spot with our team. Lots of of lots of weaknesses that kind of all overlap. Not not really had a ton of different options. Doesn't help that I also killed one of our other options by accident. It's it's interesting playing through this and also playing the playing a different ROM hack on my own. Just because I've not played a ton of Pokemon ROM hacks, so I'm just comparing them as I go. I have to give Jaizu credit. This one is one of the most comprehensive and one of the best that I've really had a chance to play. This has been a fantastic ROM hack, and I'm excited to see what else is in here. Some of the others, they make some surface changes, they add a couple of additional things, but I feel like some of the stuff that gets added here, especially in the early part, is really helpful and considerate. Like being able to use the running shoes from the get-go. A lot of the playthroughs, especially the ones that are set with Fire Red, Leaf Green, they just keep it in there the way it is, and you don't get running shoes until after you face Brock. So that's fun. I have a feeling we're gonna be leaning quite a bit on Beatrice. I want to keep using Petunia. Petunia's good. But I have to admit, having Edric around does kind of cut into her use by virtue of the fact there's so much overlap. Oh no. Alright, so this would be one of the problem situations that I was talking about. With Magnemite being electric steel, I don't really have a ton of great ways to take care of you. But on the other hand, it shouldn't have a lot of ways to hurt me. Alright, let's just pack it in here, folks, and sit down for a nice, calm ride. In the meantime, how's everybody else doing? Has anybody else done any Nuzlocks before? And it also just hit me that I'm assuming a lot with my audience. I just kind of started this up and said, yeah, it's a Nuzlocke. And I don't think I ever explained exactly what that is. Mostly because the rule set is already built in, and so you can kind of get an idea from the get-go on how this goes. So, a Nuzlocke is something that was come up with by a webcomic artist, or at least they made it in webcomic. But the idea is you can only catch one Pokemon a route, and you have to nickname it in order to feel perfectly attached to your pocket monster. And if it faints, it's considered dead. You cannot revive it, and you are just screwed. So that is the principles that we are operating under. A lot of others have added additional challenges to it, like only being able to use the Pokemon Center once. We're getting beaten up enough as it is. I don't think I need additional help punishing myself. And I'm living a life a little bit on the edge here with Petunia as we do this discussion because I got distracted. Oh, Lord. Um... This sucks, but I've got to. I'd rather be safe than sorry. We cannot afford to just be killing off party members. Not that I recommend people just frivolously view all of their friends as expendable. Yeah, we'll switch out, because Petunia's got hardly any offensive ability left. Edric should be able to handle a Voltorb. Alright. So now that everybody has hopefully been caught up to speed on what exactly a Nuzlocke is, and I apologize that we are several videos in and I just did not explain it at all. But hey, we should know from watching this by now that I assume a lot of things, and then I pay the consequences, and then I pay for it. Consequences. I am just rambling here because I don't know what to say. Edric is evolving. This is our first non-bug evolution. Ivysaur is going to be a huge pickup for us. Probably going to be our best choice for Misty. I'm really worried about Misty because there's already been enough curveballs in this that I have to assume there's other things that have been added with challenge mode. Like, for instance, I would not be surprised if her Staryu or Starmie have psychic attacks. In which case, we're really in a bad spot because all of our grass Pokemon are part poison. I'm also really happy I've made the decision to not worry about grinding up a Magikarp. While Gyarados potentially could be some use to us, that's a lot of time, resources, and just additional hits that I'm going to have to force the party to take to try to bolster a member who's not going to be able to do anything for a long period of time. Maybe not until after we've cleared Nugget Bridge. That is a significant period of time to be splitting the party's XP like that. So now that I've explained what a Nuzlocke is for the hopefully anybody who's not done them or anything, I wonder, does anybody else have any curiosity about trying these themselves, or have they tried them before themselves? If so, tell me how it's gone for you. How has that experience been? Have you formed attachments to Pokemon that you otherwise wouldn't really have that much of an attachment to? To me, that's one of the more interesting and fun things about Nuzlocke, is you kind of get forced into using Pokemon that you otherwise wouldn't really give much thought to, or that you wouldn't use. Or you end up having to stick with some, like Beedrill, just because you're in a position where you can't really be choosy about it. I'm really surprised, though, by how well Beatrice has been doing for us. I'll throw out Fiona. Because this is Bellsprout. Bellsprout's not going to be able to do anything much to us. And apparently Fiona's just not going to be able to do much to Bellsprout. There we go. Oh, you'd love to see it when the Fury attack actually all lands. For those wondering, yes, I'm keeping Petunia up front because I had a feeling like if I'm not fighting a Zubat, I'm probably gonna be fighting a Geodude, and Geodude is just free XP for my Oddish. In Fury, it's also free experience for Edric, but I'm not as worried about leveling Edric. Oh, well. See what I mean? Um. So this rocket down here is a little bit of a interesting note in of himself. In Pokemon Red and Blue, he has a level 16 Raticate that can just curb stomp you. Fortunately, rockets usually just have a bunch of poisons and occasionally a drowsy. I think at this stage he's just gonna have pretty standard affair Pokemon. So let's throw in our Fiona, and yeah, Fiona should be able to clean house on Zubat. Even a crit's not going to do too much to us. Poison Sting's also not going to do too much to it. An Ekans. Yeah, I couldn't remember what they switched it to, but I knew they switched this encounter up in the later editions of the game because just throwing the level 60 Raticate in here with its Hyper Fang and the fact that likely outspeeds any Pokemon that you have, it just murders entire squads, unless you have a Geodude. It's a little less effective then. But I've done Nuzlocke before with Pokemon Red and Blue and run into this guy by accident while trying to farm XP, and he just wipes parts of the team. Alright, so Thief should be a special attack with this edition. I'll hold on to it for right now. I don't see the point in having to race to put a TM on anyone. I would love to get a new move for Fiona, because as we've seen, Fiona's moveset is terrible. Like, actually awful. But I just don't. I don't know. Maybe Fiona could actually use. Yeah, no. 19 special attack. I've done that noise now a couple of times on my videos, so I'm gonna try not to do that. It's just a general sound of frustration, I guess, that I sometimes have. And I imagine with how things are on my videos, it can't be the most pleasant to hear. I'm hoping I'm not peaking audio when I do it. It's almost reflexive. I was really... So we blew our encounter here, and that sucks. Because even... Here's the deal, though. Even though our encounter was a Clefairy, and I would have absolutely used Clefairy. I love the Clefairy line. A part of me was kind of really hoping for a Geodude. Because this mod, this ROM hack does actually fix trade evolution, so you actually can use them and not feel absolutely punished for it. And And I don't think I've really had a chance to use a Geodude on any sort of challenge run playthrough in any way, because it's kind of a weird Pokemon in some regards, because it tends to take up the same space of area where Zubat is. You usually just encounter Zubat, and then congratulations, you've got a Zubat, and you don't really get the chance to use Geodude. Next trainer, I believe, is a hiker. I'm saving routinely because I just, in case anything goes wrong with the ROM or it crashes in any way, I don't want to actually lose progress. Also, this cave has been shifted around just a little bit from how it is in Fire Red and Leaf Green. That's something that I noticed. I think everything's roughly where it should be, but there's just a little bit of a difference. I'm guessing because they maybe rebuilding Mount Moon exactly the way it is in Fire Red and Leaf Green is a little more difficult than anticipated, or maybe there's just a lot of that wide open empty space that doesn't really accomplish much except to kind of create the sense that the cave is bigger than it actually is. Well, it's great and immersive. I can see why somebody might think, yeah, let's make it a little bit smaller, and kind of help push the player on through to the rest of the game. There's our Moonstone, which just salt in the wound on that, I guess. I don't think we've, outside of the trainer battle, we have not run into a Clefairy since. So I don't think they even boosted the Clefairy encounter rate. I just got really lucky and then very, very unlucky, all in the span of a minute. Man, it sucks. I would have loved so much to have used the Clefairy. Because once again, Clefairy's a Pokemon that doesn't really get used a lot in Nuzlocke and challenge runs because of its absurdly low encounter rate. And now the game is mocking me. I would rather not sit there and try to fight a Clefairy if I can help it. Clefairy has Sing. I don't believe I have any Awakenings on me. And sleep just means either having to lame it out or hoping that I have an Awakening. Oh no. Oh no. Alright. Situation is back under control. Sandshrew. I've played a couple of mods where Sandshrew is boosted. I don't know if this is one where it is or not. And I don't know if I really want to take any chances. So I'll throw Petunia in. I think Edric would have been fine. I'm just being very, very cautious. we do have a good team. We have a very good team. I just don't... Nearly wasted a potion. That would have been wonderful. If I'm fighting Jesse and James, they have poison types. So Fiona and Fury should be completely safe on them. Alright, never mind. We weren't going to fight them right there. I guess we're going to fight them exactly where we did in yellow, which is up there next to the Pokemaniac. I'm not familiar with a lot of the changes. I think this one is based off of Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, where Jesse and James are seen at various points wandering around Mount Moon on their mission. Whatever that was. Yeah, I think since we're past the scary bit, let's just go ahead and have Edric back out here. Edric is kind of now our backup starter, I guess. I guess it feels... Oh, no. We're going to be a bit of a risk taker. We're going to try a sleep powder. Never punished. Just never punished for flipping coins. There we go. Zubat, that is going to be Fiona business. I'm also... I know it sounds terrible to say this, because it's like, well, you missed out on a Clefairy. I'm also really happy I didn't get a Zubat. And it's not because I don't like the Zubat line, it's just that raising the Zubat line is a story unto itself. They're really weak for such an extended period of time in the game. During a period of time where a lot of different team members are going to be very shaky. So you kind of need... Always get that hidden moonstone. You kind of need something that's going to be able to stand and deliver for you. I was unaware that Onyx was in this cave. Is that something added to this game? Anyways, you're in a position where you need everybody to be able to back up and protect themselves. Having to worry about Zubat on top of everything else would have just not been great. And I say this as somebody who was actually considering the Magikarp. Alright, I forget what all this guy has. I do... Yes. Alright, a Grimer. Grimer's going to not be able to poison us, but we're not going to be able to do a lot to it. I'm going to keep Edric in and just tackle spam, while intermittently keeping him asleep, and throwing a Leech Seed on him. This way, we're not going to be taking any unnecessary risks. Yeah, just keep it locked down and hopefully not end up in a situation that is not favoring us. Oh no. And there we go. First one down. Level 17, that's good. Coughing. Yeah, we're gonna do about the same thing we did earlier. Just put you to sleep, leech seed, and tackle. Well, that's not helpful. Coughing would actually be an interesting Pokemon to try to get. It would end up being a lot like... You would probably have a lot of the same problems that you have with Zubat, where Coughing's moveset is very not good for a pretty decent run. It doesn't have stellar offensive stats, so it's not going to be able to win battles on its own. It does have some decent bulk. Voltorb. You know what? We're going to put in Fiona on Voltorb. The one benefit to having most of our party being poison is we can't get poisoned. Unexpected poison Pokemon run I'm having. A type that does not really get great until much later in the series, about the time that Fairy is integrated into the game, and also about the time that Poison gets some really great Pokemon added to it. Alright. Leech, take Fossil. No need to be greedy. Helix or Dome? I like Omastar. I think it's really cool. But I think Kabutops is cooler. So we'll go with that. Plus, I think everybody takes Omanite. It'll be interesting to see if we actually use it. At the rate things are going, we probably will, because... Yeah. How do we want to do this? So I believe the rocket battle is next. Yeah, let's go ahead and put Fiona out in the front. Okay, Team Rocket Battle, here we go. Sprite work is great. Oh, it's double battles. Okay, I don't like the Intimidate being let off. That sucks. Who's gonna be the bigger problem? Meowth, probably. There we go. And now coughing. Okay, that's worrisome. We'll throw Edric in. Beatrice, just try and take out the Ekans. I somehow knew that was coming. Fortunately, we do still have the Pecha Berry on Beatrice. Let's put you to sleep and keep wailing on Ekans. Alright. Tackle to try to finish off Ekans and return to add more damage on. There we go. Well, that was quick. Sleep again, and return. Giving Beatrice return was one of my better decisions, I think. And you're seeing already what I mean by Coughing having a decent amount of bulk. Coughing actually has a really good defense stat. Alright, let's Leech Seed and Gust. Just give her turn a little bit of a rest in case there's a couple of additional battles outside that I was not aware of. There shouldn't be, but I don't know what all's been added or changed. Good lord. Okay, well, this battle's won. Fiona is level 17, that's great. Beatrice, not level 17, but Edric's 18. And they blast off. How far are you from a level, Beatrice? Wow, okay. Just put you in front. I mean, that's useful. Especially since Beatrice cannot seem to fight a poison type without getting poisoned. Yes, okay. These guys will teach you Mega Punch and Mega Kick. Unfortunately, I don't believe we have anything that can learn either of them. Would have been good for Clefairy. Boy, we're in a spot. And Roar is not a move that's going to help us. We are now past the point of no return. And we are in Cerulean City. Let's heal up, and then we'll call it an episode. Alright, folks, thank you so much for joining me. And like, comment, subscribe, do all that. Tell me what you think about Nuzlocke. If you were trying to, since we're like right next to Cerulean City and haven't had our encounter yet, tell me, based on if you've played Red and Blue before, or Fire Red and Leaf Green, what encounter would you hope to get out of this area that you think would help you a lot if you were in my boat? Thank you so much, and I hope you guys return.